Hello and welcome everybody to the fourth episode of Hashnode webinars. Last week we had our launch and a big thanks to everybody who supported us. We ranked number 1 on product hunt, and for those of you are writing on Hashnode or you have played around with Hashnode, you must have seen a new look that Hashnode has right now. So last week was all about launches, going live with our docs by Hashnode, and also going live with the latest look of Hashnode. I hope you all enjoyed that. And today we will be talking about a topic that I really love, and it's related to AI and webhooks. And with me, I have my colleague Dave. He's the one who will be live coding today and showing you the demo. But I am also very excited to hear from you your experience in AI and what are some of the cool things that you have built. While you do that, feel free to add as much as comments you want. I'll read, and I'll also probably share some of them here on the screen. I love go wild on the comments basically. Now is the time for us to invite my colleague Dave on stage. Hi Dave, how are you doing?
Hey everyone, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, hey everyone. So I'm Dave. I'm a product engineer at Hashnode. I basically work, like most of my work is on the editor that you see, the beautiful editor that we have built for blogs. So I mostly work with that. And here, I just like to build things around AI and yeah, I'm just very proud of what we have built. And today we will talk about one of those features that we have built, which is Hashnode Webhooks. And webhooks are really awesome way to automate things around your publication. Like if you want to automate your marketing pipeline, if you want to automate your social media post around your publications and articles, you can do that. So today we will learn how to do that exactly. Over to
Amazing.
you.
I am very excited for this one because I have seen the demo and I know how cool that looks. And I'm sure that anybody who is watching us live today, since we are building it live, so at the end of this webinar, you will not only learn something new, but you will also possibly build something new. So I am very excited to get that rolling and see how you build it. But maybe let's chat a little bit about AI and webhooks. So since my favorite topic is around AI, and we can talk a little bit about any fun projects that you have built. So Dave, I'll ask you first. Is there any cool project or fun project that you built on the side, or something that you are very proud of?
Yeah, actually, I am currently working on something which, like a platform in which you can basically chat with your code base. So
Oh,
basically, yeah, I was working on a project manager, project management kind of software, which like whenever you create a task around your project, like we do on linear and all that. So whenever
yeah.
you create a project, it automatically finds what code segment this change belongs to, and it helps the engineers to understand, okay, where do they have to make a change in order for that task to be completed. So yeah, it involves a lot of chunking and storing your entire code base, breaking it into chunks and storing the embeddings into vector store and making a search. So we won't go that deep today with AI. We the goal of today is favorite says hello. Yeah, we yeah, we won't go that deep with the AI part. The goal is to just introduce you to the very cool feature that is Hashnode webhooks. But the best thing about this feature is like the webhooks, the endpoints, they live on your server, so you can play with as much AI magic as you want, and you can build
Absolutely.
really great things. What are you working
Absolutely.
on right now?
Oh, I haven't worked on some or let's say any side projects for a while now, but I set this goal for myself that this year I'll be working on side projects every weekend. As long as a lot of times I'm not able to do that every weekend, but almost every other weekend I build something, and those are purely fun applications. And like I built a GitHub Rose tab that went really viral. So
Yeah,
like
we
I
saw
love
that.
building fun applications. So yeah, that's what I built. And I, like you mentioned, that today we will majorly be showing how like we'll be covering a lot about webhooks, and then you will show that how webhooks in software development in itself, like it's an interesting plus also an important topic, and there is so much that we can do around with it. So I'm also pretty excited to see what all we can do with Hashnode webhook. So if we are good, then maybe I can start sharing my screen and giving all of us a little introduction. Are we good?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Before that, I wanted to ask a question like, how do you keep up with all the changes in the AI frameworks and basically like everything? Things keep on releasing. Like earlier, it was JavaScript that used to release a new library
Exactly.
or framework every hour, and now it's AI. Now it's LangChain and all the players. So how do you keep up with those things?
It's really hard to be honest, but what I also do, since I live in Bangalore, so I also try to go to some meetups if they are especially AI related, so I learn what's new or what are people who are actively working in the AI space, what are they building with, and that's how I hear the terms. If it seems interesting to me, I just go back home and read an article or so. But so or I use Twitter a lot, and my algorithm, like I have trained the algorithm in a way that it only gives me relevant content and very less shit post or anything as such. So that's how I also get to know about the new things. So yeah, that's how I've been doing so
That's
far.
a benefit of living in Bangalore. I live in Noida right now, so I only go out if I want to find out what's happening in the cement industry or any hardware or metal industry.
Yeah, but I think that Noida also have started getting some software development like meetups and all of those. You get it in like Delhi, but Delhi NCR is still used to, it needs to go a little bit deeper for the tech industry.
Yeah, that's true. Like ecosystem is like starting up. It's still in very budding stage. Like not as much as Bangalore, but yeah, it's
Exactly.
getting there. So yeah,
Amazing.
we can start with
Cool.
whatever you have prepared.
Yes, just give me a second. I'll share my screen. Let me know if you can see my presentation.
I can, yeah.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. If you have seen our post on social media and if you have already seen the YouTube banner, you must know that today's topic is automating TLDR posts on X using Hashtag Webhooks and Vercel AI SDK. For those who are hearing about the short form TLDR for the first time, it basically means too long didn't read, or it will basically, what it will do is it will summarize your articles and then it will post on X or Twitter using Hashnode webhooks, and the summary will be generated using Vercel AI. So that's what we will be covering today. Before that, a little bit of introduction about me. Hi, I'm Hemantika. For those of you who have tuned into our previous webinars, you already possibly know me. But again, a little bit of introduction goes a long way. So I work as a developer advocate at Hashnode. And if you would like to know more about me, just go to your terminal and type npx space hello hyphen Hemantika. That's where you'll get links to my social media profile, to my portfolio, and everything else. Now, moving on to you, Dave. Please go and introduce yourself again.
Yeah, so as I've told before, I'm Dev. I'm product engineer at Hashnode. Hashnode is basically a developer tool, a tool for developers. And recently we have released Docs by Hashnode, which is sort of like double clicking on this
Exactly.
building dev tools, motivation of building dev tools and working for developers. And yeah, I am always hunting for good recommendations. So if you want to sort my weekend out, you can hit me up on Twitter. Just recommend whatever you are watching, whatever you are binging this weekend.
Absolutely. Or if you want, you can also drop them in the comments below. Dave and I,
Yeah,
we will be monitoring the comments and we'll make sure that we see and we send him all the recommendations. The weekend is coming up very soon.
yeah,
Cool. So we talked a little bit, but Hashnode, it now has a new look, and for that, all you need to do is go to hashnode.com. I'll go ahead and I'll show my screen and show you how it looks right now. If you sign in, and this is the page that you will see, this is how the homepage looks like. So we do have a new product, which is our docs, or a documentation tool. And if you want to learn more about Hashnode's doc, you just need to go to hashnode.com/product/docs, and you'll see that basically this tool will help you build effective and really nice looking documentation for your dev tool, since they've mentioned that he is a dev tool fanatic. And if Other than that, anytime if you want to write your product guides, you have a tool right now which is not only effective but also has a lot of features that makes it super easy for both tech and non-tech team members to collaborate. And we also have a special headless mode, so your documentation experience shouldn't be detached from your website experience. You can just go ahead and customize the UI and make it similar to your actual branding. So that's about Hashnode Docs. And if you would like to know more, you can just go ahead and click on or go to your browser and type docs by Hashnode or hashnode.com/product/docs. That's it. Now, let me give you a quick run through on how the Hashnode.com or our homepage looks like right now. So, we have mainly two products, which is our blog, the one that most of you have already been using, and then we have our new docs product as well. So, from here, you can create a new blog, you can also create a new docs, and you'll see your existing blogs and docs right here on the homepage. And if you want to go to your feed, you just need to click on the community part, and that is where you will see your feed and you can read articles written by other people. So that's the new look of Hashnode. Let us know what you think about it. If you like it or not, I will be reading all your comments and also share them with the team because they will be super happy to hear what all feedback you have. And if there is any suggestions for us, feel free to drop them as well. We'll make sure to chat about it internally and make some changes if there are any. Cool. Now, going back to our topic of webhooks. So, before that, let us see or go through what we will be covering today. A very, very short introduction to webhooks that I will be covering. And the second part is the main demo part that Dave will be covering. And he will show you, or he will be live coding and showing you how you can automate the TLDR posts of your hashtag articles and post it on X. I hope you're all excited because it's a very cool integration and there's so much that you can learn from it. Also, we have already covered all of these on our blog or on our Hashnode blog. So just go to hashnode.com/blog and you should be able to see our article that covers everything that we have here. I'll also add the links in the comments so you can just access it from there. But at any time, if you're not able to follow us through the video, you can always go back to the article and follow the step-by-step tutorial there. Now, let's get started. So, what are webhooks? If like since I'm basically quoting Dave here, but that's what the definition is as well. But webhooks are basically REST APIs that lives on your server. And if I had to define it further, it's a lightweight automated message that's sent from one application to another when a specific event occurs. And as we are talking about a demo, so what we are basically doing is Hashnode is the application where the article is written, and then we are sending our article to Vercel AI or to OpenAI to summarize it, and then we are sending it to X to post it. So two main applications that's handling it is Hashnode and X. And whenever an article is posted, our Vercel AI, it generates a summary of it and then it gets posted on X. So this is what we will learn as we learn more about Hashtag webhooks. We'll see how it's done, but that's basically what the definition is. And if I had to elaborate further, it's a type of communication that uses HTTP protocol to automatically send data between applications, and they can be also used to activate workflows. And one of the most common example of webhooks are, for example, there is a dev tool, or it can also be a e-commerce website. As soon as you sign up on it, you'll see that you'll receive a welcome email, or you'll see that you receive a discount coupon or something like that. All of these things are automated with the use of webhooks. So that's one practical example that I could give you. And this is just one example. There are so many that or so many things, multiple things that you can do with webhooks, which is why it's also a very important concept in software engineering. So if any of you here, you are beginners or you are getting started with technology, hang on till the end because you are going to get or dive much deeper and actually see a practical implementation. Now, going forward to what are webhooks in Hashnode. So, Hashnode also has a webhooks feature that you can enable from a blog dashboard. Don't worry about where it is right now. You'll see all of that in just a few minutes. And the webhook feature in Hashnode, it provides a way for you to receive notifications for any specific events that happen to your publication. Let's say you delete a post, or you publish a post, or you update a post. If you have a webhook created and you have some action that is expected, or you integrate a webhook in a way that it maybe sends you an email or as such, then that's how you can basically use different events on Hashnode. And there are six main events that you can set up webhooks in Hashnode for. First one is publishing a post or publishing an article. The second one is deleting a post. The third one is updating a post. And then we also have static pages. So if a static page is published, edited, and deleted, that's when you can. So for all of these events, you can integrate a webhook that with other services, and then you can automate various actions. So like I mentioned, let's say whenever I'm deleting a post or whenever I'm updating a post, I want it to send me an email. I can do that with webhooks. Or whenever I'm publishing a post, I want it to make a post on X. That's what we will be doing today. So that's the introduction. I hope you have some idea about what webhooks are now. And let's get started coding. So that's all from my end. I'll stop sharing my screen and pass over the baton to Dave. Dave, are you ready? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Perfect. So I'll add your screen, and here you are.
All right. Yeah. So Hemantika has explained briefly about what webhooks are. Not briefly, like she has explained like everything that there is, but yeah, we will see hands-on how that works. So basically, just to reiterate or what she said is webhooks are just REST API endpoints, which any system on whenever any event occurs in any system or any server, for example Hashnode server, the events are as she explained, post published, post deleted, and all that. Whenever those events occur, you can provide a endpoint of your server to Hashnode, which it will call upon publishing an article. So that's how it works. So today what we will cover is we will first create a webhook on Hashnode. Then we will write an handler for that webhook. Handler is basically the webhook endpoint, which will execute the logic whenever Hashnode calls the webhook. Then what we will do is we will fetch the content of the article that was published. So what we are doing today is whenever you publish an article, we will generate a TLDR or a short summary of the article and post it to X. So we will fetch the content of the article, and then using Vercel AI SDK, we will generate a TLDR, and then we will post it to X. Yeah, that's all we are going to do today. So let me show you where on hashnode.com can you create these webhooks. So if I go to hashnode.com, I have many publications here. So let's go to my personal publication, which is this one, right? So you are on your publications dashboard. On the left sidebar, you will see this tab, webhooks. And when you click that, you will find that there is a list of webhook. I already have a webhook, but yeah, if I want to add another, I will just create an add new webhook. And here you can provide the endpoint. So for example, your webhook lives at this address, which is devshekhawat.com/post on X. So yeah, you can uh, provide that, and you can select on what events Hashnode should call this endpoint or should call this webhook. So you will select the events from here, which are post published, post updated. So today we will be dealing with this event, which is post publish. So as soon as a post is published, we will execute some logic and try to post the summary on X. Also, there is a thing called secret, and we will explain shortly what this means. But you need to copy this secret while creating the webhook. You can come back to it and copy it again, like it doesn't go away. But yeah, that's all about how you can create a webhook in your publication dashboard. Now let's go to the Next.js application. So we will be using Next.js here to create the server on which our endpoint will live. So this is a boilerplate Next.js application. We have nothing here, just whatever we get from running npx create next application. So layout, page, and all that. The important part here, which is also a prerequisite for this, is you have to create your environment variables. So first of all, this is the Hashnode webhook secret that I just showed you. You need to copy that and paste it. So you need to copy this env.example. You will find it in the GitHub repo, the open source GitHub repo that we will share with you in the article. You will need to copy it to another file. You have to create it .env.local. Basically, this file is added to the git ignore, so it is not pushed to the repository. But you need to copy all these things and to the env.local file and add these environment variables. So we'll go through these one by one. So Hashnode webhook secret is the secret that I just showed you. You can get that while creating the webhook. Then there is access token. Now, how can you get access token? So it's easy. If you come back to the dashboard and press Command K or Control K and write access token, you will see a command here, copy access token. You just click on that and the token will be copied, and you can paste it in your env.local. Next set of keys or secrets are from the X developer account. So you need to create a developer account. Now what X allows you to create a project, a single project in the free tier, and inside that you can create a single app. So that's for free tier. If you want to create more projects or more apps, you have to buy a premium. But let me just quickly show you how this developer dashboard looks like.
While you do this, this reminded me of a very funny story. When I was in college, I was learning to, like, I was learning machine learning, and there were these projects, right? Sentiment analysis of Twitter, like tweets and everything, and I
Yeah.
exposed my environment variables. Since you mentioned to have a .env file, so make sure that all of you who is following us in the webinar today to have a git ignore file and not expose your environment variables.
Yeah, that's a, I would not even say good practice, it's a necessary practice.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, so this is the X developer. I am tempted to say Twitter again and again, but yeah, it's X now. This is the X developer portal, and here you can find your projects and apps. So an app lives inside a project, and in free tier, you can create one project, and inside that, you can create one app. So you can see that we have a project Hashnode Webhooks, and inside that, we have an app Webhook demo. When you create that app, in this keys and tokens section, you will find a few keys. So first is API key and secret. So you can copy these and paste it here. So yeah, this is the XAPI key and XAPI key secret, right? After that, you have this access token and secret, which you can copy and paste it here. This X access token and X access token secret. And lastly, you so like you can use any LLM you want. You can use basically Gemini, OpenAI, or any open source LLM you want to use. But for this tutorial, we are using OpenAI API. So you need to generate an API key for that as well and paste it here, right? So yeah, let's get started. So as I showed you here, you need to create a you need to provide an endpoint on which your webhook handler will live. So how do you create that the handler for that route? So for that, so in Next.js, earlier there was page router, but now they have introduced app router. So in app router, how you can create a API handler is inside this src/app, inside this app folder, you just create a folder and you can name it whatever you want. So I will name it post on X. So it will be the endpoint. So whatever domain I provide here for my server, I just need to call on slash post on X.
Dave, can you zoom in a bit? It's a little.
Yeah, is it
Yes,
fine
yes,
now?
yes,
Okay,
perfect.
all right. And what about the VS Code? It's fine.
It looks good to me. I also don't see any complaints from our viewers, so I think we're good.
All right, yeah, great. So now that you have created a post on X folder, you just need to create a route.ts file. Okay, now inside this route.ts file, so route.ts is a special file. You cannot name it like anything else. You have to name it route.ts. So whatever requests come to this thing slash post on X will be routed to route whatever handlers you have written inside route.ts. And webhooks, so Hashnode sends something to the webhook endpoint that you are creating. So it's a post API call. So you have to create a post API handler. And how to do that here is you just export a function, and the name of function is post. So some AI magic here as well. Yeah, you have to create export a function named post. So this is basically what will be executed when you are running your uh, API handler. So just to test this, there is another important concept of how you can test it, because you are running it in local host and your server is not deployed anywhere. So I'll just tell you in a minute how you can test it out. So let's also add a log here. Let's say message received. It's now a habit to wait for the AI suggestion and then press tab, and
Exactly.
yeah, and sort of annoys you when it doesn't come. Okay, so we have added a log here, and yeah, so let me run this Next.js project now. So is everything visible on terminal? Fine.
Yes, a little zoom would be good. I see the. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine.
Okay, so how you can do that? First, let me go to that project, which is at here, and Webhooks webinar. Great. So I think I
Dave,
need
sorry to
to
interrupt you, but can you zoom in again? Like it was fine a bit before.
let me see how I can increase the text size here.
Yes, I think this
Okay.
is better. This is better. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Great. So to run this Next.js project, I will just simply say npm run. Okay. Every time I see this command, I feel like running. Okay. Localhost 3000. Okay, it's running. Fine. Now, here is the main thing regarding testing this is this is running on your local host and it is not deployed somewhere. And you cannot provide local host here. So what you need to do is you need to rely on something like there are many services out there, but ngrok is the one that I use. So ngrok, what it does is it maps your local host uh, to a SSL certified domain. And how you can do that, I have ngrok installed, but you can also install it using brew or any package manager that your operating system supports. So ngrok http, and you have to give the port to which you want to map. So yeah, it's running, it's online, and it gave you a URL. So this is nothing but this is a public global endpoint that points to your localhost 3000. So if I run this on browser, okay, visit site, yeah, Next.js application, and you can see that if I make any change to this page, I just wrote okay, and you can see Okay.
Dave, you have a comment from favorite. He's saying that Dave is really funny. Keep running, Dave. NPM run, Dave.
Glad that he got the joke. Okay. Now, right. So this part is done. Now, what you can do is this is the URL that you got from ngrok, which is mapping to your localhost 3000. You can just go to your dashboard and paste it here. And remember, our route for the webhook handler was post on X. So let me just verify that once again. It's post on X and route TS. Okay. And post publish is the event which we want our on which we want to run our trigger our webhook for. So I will just create this thing here. All right. And yeah, this one. And I will just say I will just click on test. So this is, we are just testing if our webhook is working fine, we are receiving the message or not. So I clicked on test, and yeah, message received. So that means our webhook is working fine. This got logged and we got a response back, which is hello Next.js. All right. Now, just let's start writing a few things. Now, remember one thing, that this endpoint is a public API, so anyone can call this API. So how do you protect this endpoint? Because you only want it to be accessible by Hashnode. Whenever you publish a post, then only this should be executed. You don't want anyone to post some spam article so that it can be posted to your Twitter. You don't want that. So how do you protect this? For that, we have to use something that is called verifying the signature, right, or verifying the webhook. So how you can do that? For that, what you need to do is you can go here to edit, and you again see the screen, right? And here we have the secret. Now how this works, how you can verify it, we have given a link here, learn how it works. You can just open it and it will redirect to the webhook documentation. And you don't need to, yeah, like you can dive deeper if you want, but it simply works out of the box. You just need to copy this code block which starts from import crypto from crypto. In Next.js, crypto is installed by default, but if it's not, you need to install it explicitly. You can copy this code block, and let's create another file here, util.ts. So this is a utility file, and I'll paste the entire code here. A few type errors, that's fine. Okay, so this is pasted. Now the main function we are concerned with here is validate signature. So let me just give you a brief overview of how this works. So you want to protect your endpoint. You want only Hashnode to be able to call this, and not some some individual or some other server. So what Hashnode does is it sends a payload with every request. With for example, if we have selected post published event, it will send a payload with the post ID and publish ID, and it signs that payload with a secret, and it returns a signature, right? So you can sign anything like any JSON object or any object with a secret, and it gives a signature. Hashnode sends this signature with the headers and sends this to this endpoint, right? So how you can access this is incoming signature header. Okay, great. Already got a suggestion, but this is sent as X Hashnode signature. So this is the name of the header in which the signature is coming from. So just to verify that, if I go back here and let's come back, so you can go on history, and this is the first test call that we made. If you come here, you will find this header, X Hashnode signature. So just copy it to be sure and paste it here. So this is the signature that is being received. Now coming back to our readme, yeah. Now, how you can verify it? You That's why it you need to copy the secret. So whenever you receive the payload, so you now have payload, and you have the secret, and you have this signature that is coming from the that is coming with the headers. So you got another signature, let's call it signature 2. Now you'll compare if these two match, that means the request is coming from Hashnode and not from anywhere else. So yeah, let's work on this verifying signature part now. So my webhook secret is stored in env, this thing. I think I should disable the AI suggestion. I don't know. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, so the webhook secret is stored in the .env.local. I will show the example. So this is the webhook secret, and you can access it using process.env. So process.env.hashnode webhook secret is the secret that you copied, and you can also get the payload that is being sent with the request using request.json. And since you are using await, you should also make this function async, right? So this part is done. Now remember the utils you copy. The main function was validate signature. Now how you can validate signature is const, it will return something, and then write validate signature from util, and you will pass a few things. First is incoming signature header, then there is secret, which is webhook secret, and payload. So you will pass three things here. So secret is okay. So since we are getting it from environment variables, it can be undefined. So you can return early. If webhook secret is missing, you can return 400, which is a bad request. Or let's say, or incoming signature header is not there. So we can say missing webhook secret or signature and return, right? Now it's not giving an error anymore. And what this validate signature returns is a is valid boolean. So if your request is valid, we will get this as true, otherwise false. So let's see, let's test it out. Let me just log it and return 400. Okay, if not, if this is not valid, we will return an invalid signature. Since this is an unauthorized thing, so we will return like forbidden 403 invalid signature, right? Let's go back here and let me resend. So you can see the history of your all your webhook calls, and you can resend these webhooks if something fails. So if I resend, then I should get the request here. I got a 403. Let's debug what happened. Okay.
And the demo
All
got
right.
settled.
Yeah. No,
Oh, you got
that's
it.
I got it. I got it. This is so I'm not showing my env.local. The webhook secret there is from another webhook, which is not this one. Let me go back to, yeah, this is this one slash webhook. So if I go here, let me also change the name of the folder here. I'll just call it webhook. All right. And I need to also update the URL here. Okay. So webhook. So if I click on test now,
Yeah, we
is valid,
yes.
true, webhook 200. So you can also see the request from ngrok here. So this is all the request that is coming to your local host from this endpoint, right? Post on X not find. I don't know why it's retrying this call, but yeah, let's not worry about that. Okay, now that your uh, webhook is validated, sorry, your yeah, your signature is validated. what we need to do next is we need to see what all payload that we are getting, right? So it's valid. Now payload we are getting here, let's just log the payload and see what all is there. Let me just turn into a JSON string and log it. So if I click on test again, so you see, you got a metadata, which is the UID, which is the unique ID to that particular webhook endpoint. You don't need it for this tutorial, but there are some use cases which we won't dive into right now. But in this data key, you have a few things that are useful. There is a publication ID, there is a post ID. So this is the post that got published. Right now, it's just a random post ID because we clicked on test and we did not publish anything. And I think this is a randomly generated or my own default publication ID. Uh, Not sure about the specific here, but this is not the actual post that was published. This is just the test data. So let's retrieve these things from here. Let me just yeah. So this is how you can get that data, which is event type and post. So since this webhook is only concerned with post underscore updated, if it is not, sorry, post underscore published, if it is not that, we can again return that this request is not valid. Else, what we can do is, now we have the post ID. Now we want to retrieve the contents of this post. How we can do that? We will use our GraphQL APIs. If you if you are curious about how webhook GraphQL APIs work, you can watch a live stream. I guess uh, a favorite gave a demo last week about those. So for
Yes.
that, let's create a GraphQL.ts file here, and I will just copy it. Okay. So this is how you make the request. You make a request to gql.hashnode.com where our GraphQL server lives, and this is the query: get post by ID, and this is all you want: ID, title, URL, content, markdown. So how to get that? And this is the access token that you copied using Command K on our dashboard. So now that we have this post, let's get, okay, we are getting a suggestion. Let's get post by ID, import from GraphQL, and post.id, right? So we have the post data now. All right. Now what we want to do is, we will see if this post data is, let's say post data is not available. We will write some error handling here. Post data is not there, post data content is not there, or post data content dot markdown is not there. We will return an error, right? Now the next part is, now that we have the content here, which is this part, content dot markdown. So let's get it here. All right. Now we want to, now comes the AI part. So now we want to generate a TLDR using OpenAI's API. So how we can do that? Let's create another file. Let's name it openai.ts, and you need to have the AI SDK installed. So let me just quickly install that. So you need two things: npm install AI, which is the Vercel AI SDK, and in that you need to get the OpenAI module, which is AI SDK slash OpenAI. All right. So let's import a few things. So from OpenAI SDK, we want to get something which is called simply OpenAI, and then we want to get a message, we want to generate a TLDR message, right? So for that we need this function which is called generate text, which is imported from AI, and it says generate text. All right. Now let's create a function which will generate the TLDR. Let me just minimize this thing. Okay, let's create a function generate TLDR, and what it does is it's a promise because you are making a request to OpenAI server. So you will put async here, and it will get the content. And let me just quickly copy paste this, and I can explain this later. Okay, so a few things happening here. This is a try catch block because if this call fails, we want to raise an exception and we want to return error. So uh, now what we are doing here is we are getting text from this thing, generate text function, await generate text, and we are passing a few parameters here. First is the which model of OpenAI you want to use. So OpenAI GPT-4 Turbo we are using here. Then your prompt, which is summarize this article in a concise, engaging TLDR suitable for a tweet article content. So article content is this thing that we got from our parameter. So not so much AI happening here, but it's cool how you can like expand this in combination with webhooks to work with your articles. And you will set the temperature here. Temperature is basically the creativity. The lower the value, I'm not sure. So the lower the value, I think the output is more deterministic. That means it's less creative. The more Hemantika, can you correct me here? Like lower temperature means more creative or less creative?
I think more means more creative, as far as I
Okay.
remember.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Then you will return the text that you got from here. And if this fails, you will return an error. So this function is returning two things, text and error. So let's come back to our route and give me a second.
Yeah, higher temp. I just googled, so higher temperature is more creative.
More creative, yeah. I got confused here. I got like the temperature determine the how deterministic the output is. Okay,
Since you mentioned, so I started thinking that, oh, is it wrong?
okay. So let's call that generate. I think I forgot to export it. Export. Okay, generate TLDR, and we will pass the content, right? And we will get two things. First is text, and then error. And we will see like if there is any error, and if there is no text, we will return 500 that something went wrong. If we got the text, now the next part is how do we post it to Twitter, right? So we got the TLDR generated by OpenAI. Now let's create another file here. So I'm not testing it right now with the with an article because I don't want to keep publishing the article, so we will test it at the end. So let me create another file which is x.ts, and for this I need another library which is npm install Twitter API v2. So this is Twitter API. This is an SDK, JavaScript is SDK built as a wrapper on Twitter API. So it helps you sending posts to Twitter. So let's create a client for this API.
So
So you
they did
can
not
create,
update the API names and anything and the packages. They should have
uh,
renamed it to X.
yeah, I think Elon is not that much into SDKs and is
Y-
he's just
Yeah, he
focusing on
does.
content.
Exactly.
Okay, client new Twitter API. So we need a few things here. I'll just copy it. So all the four Twitter keys that we talked about earlier, we will just access this using process.env. So if you remember, these are the keys which you copied from here. So API key and secret, access token and secret. Great. We just copied this and created a client. Okay, it also created a function for me. I don't need that. I will, yeah, post thread to X. I will create a function which will get the TLDR, and let's, because we are creating a thread, we also want to post the URL of your published post. So to do that, you can also, since GraphQL, since we are also getting the URL here, you can also get that. So let's say URL, which is a string. Now you will construct a thread. So tweet is, so how you can construct a thread, it's simply using an array, which is the first item is TLDR, which got generated, and second, let's say it's a text. Here is the full article and it says URL, right? And how you can post this thread is, let's say const response await client dot v2 tweet thread, and we send this tweet, or let's call it thread, right? And you can get two things from here, which is, okay, if this is successful, you will return success true, error null. If this is not successful, you will return success false and the error that you received. All right, and let's also send the data, which is response, and here in error the data will be null. All right, let's also export this.
The null, I think you need to write it. Is
No, it's just the theme
oh,
that I'm using, it looks dull.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got the TLDR here. Let's call it TLDR only, and TLDR. Okay, now time to post something on Twitter. So how to do that? You will just say const and a few things that you are getting. Await post thread to X and TLDR. Let's also, yeah, we will also return an error if, okay, let's not do that. Let's do one thing. So with post data, you got the content, and with the post data, you will also get the URL. So post data dot URL to which your article was posted to, basically your publication domain, and you will get success here. Now if this was not successful, you will return again 500. Best practice to always error handle everything. And if this was successful, then in the end we will return a response, okay, status 200. All right, a few things that we did here, but let's just test it out. So we have everything hooked up. We have our handler. We are getting data from GraphQL. We are generating TLDR using OpenAI, and we are posting using Twitter API v2. We are posting a thread to X. All right, let's time to test it now. So if I come here, let me go to my drafts. I don't have any drafts. Let me write one. Let's use this publication. Okay.
Do you want to generate one using Hashnode's AI?
Uh, all right, let's do that. Why not?
Maybe an article on Next.js since we're using Next.js or on
Generate
Hashnode web.
an article on Hashnode webhooks. Is AI aware about Hashnode's webhooks?
Should be.
Okay, I
No,
am getting something.
because it searches the internet, right? We're using 4.0, so
Yeah.
it should be able to do that.
Okay, so the title is, meanwhile, I'll add the title, testing webhook. Hope this goes well. And I'll just paste it here. All right. I think it didn't finish updating. It's still updating, but yeah, no worries.
It's done now.
Okay, got it. Let me just. Okay. Now I'll go to publish and I'll enable hide article from Hashnode feed since it is a test article. I don't want it to appear on Hashnode feed and bug people unnecessarily. And I will just publish it and also monitor post next
Yes.
404 not found. Okay, what's wrong here? Okay, webhook. Okay, this was post on or this was earlier. Okay, because that is also triggering on this thing. So the earlier webhook we created is also triggering on publishing a post, but we got a webhook here. Let's go to our Twitter and see. Yeah, confettis.
I love the confetti.
Yeah. So Twitter, I'll go to my profile and yeah, here it is. It also,
Woohoo!
yeah,
This
it
is
also
cute.
added yeah, it also added a few hashtags. So TLDR dive into world of real-time app communication with Hashnode webhooks, set them up easily and to automate your blog. And since it's a thread in the next tweet, in this thread we have the article link here. If you click on here, yeah,
This is amazing. I loved it. This is so easy, and plus it's so exciting. And these are some of the things that any of us we contemplate. Okay, now that we have written the article, who is going to write another social media post? It's so lovely to see how our webhook and also AI can help. So it's really cool. I love the demo.
yeah, and glad it went so smooth and finished on time.
Yeah, and there were no demo gods, so that's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, so as Hemantika said that it's a really powerful tool. Like if you even if you are not an individual, if you are an enterprise, you can automate your marketing campaigns. You can automate your like marketing pipelines. If you publish something, you want to just automate posting on social media, or just create some custom notifications for your users. You can do that. Emails, like Hashnode automatically publish the emails, but if you want to add some branding of your own, you can definitely use webhooks for that.
Absolutely. And since we have our own docs, like I can think of so many ways we can do that. So if there is a new docs and you want the world to know about it, or you want to post it on Discord, since a lot of dev tools, especially startups, they use Discord. So you can build a webhook that is posting on Discord as soon as you have a new tutorial or a quick start on docs. So there are so many cool ways to use our webhooks. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and like not just post published, there are like many other hooks that you can automate your things around, like post deleted, and I'm forgetting what were those. Let's just take a quick look here.
There
So
are
yeah,
six
post
of them.
updated, yeah,
Yeah.
deleted static page published. So yeah, static pages are something like which is again an awesome feature on Hashnode, that you can, apart from your articles, the blog pages, you can create static pages for your website if you have connected your custom domain, and if you want to like update anything on your static page, let's say it's a marketing page, it's about me page, or it's a company mission page, or anything else. If you want to update, you want to notify your users, you can do that using webhooks.
Mm, true. I love this. This is so exciting and interesting. I'm
Yeah,
sure our audience and viewers who were there with us, they learned something new, because even I learned the cool things that we could do with our webhooks. And with that, I think we can close this webinar. Thank you so much, Dave, for your time. I
yeah,
love the demo. I'm so glad that it went so smooth. And for our viewers, if you want to read the blogs, or if you want to read the code, you'll find that I have added the comments here, and also on a description I have linked our blog. So the first article that you see is on webhooks and the webinar that we just covered. So just click on that and you'll find everything mentioned there step by step. So yeah,
yeah, and
that's
you'll also find the open source repo with all the code, so you can
yes.
play with it, and yeah, just try with different LLMs, local LLMs, like open source, using what I'm forgetting the names of local open source LLMs, but Llama.
Langchain
Yeah,
is there, yeah. Llama
yeah,
is there.
yeah. You can use Olama and just try on with different LLMs and just build different things, great things around the webhooks.
Exactly. Cool. I think with that, we can end this one. Yet again, thank you everybody for tuning in. And thank you so much, Dave, for your time. We'll
Yeah.
see you next week with another webinar. Bye.